What's up, family? Welcome back to the Stop Sinking Show, where we go from struggle to flow. I probably touched on this topic from multiple angles, from half-hearted harmony to any other topic on integrity. What bothers me time and time again is witnessing duality in someone. When someone is a certain type of way with someone and another way behind their back. And I'm always puzzled as to why someone might do that. I've also talked about how I've seen this happen in work dynamics, when the meetings are full of fluff and the real conversations happen while smoking a cigarette outside. No one speaks the truth with everyone in the room, but they pretend to sit up and pay attention enthusiastically. And that lapse in integrity bothers me more than anything else probably does on this planet. It's like you're trying to split yourself in multiple halves. One way to be here, another way to be here, third way to be here. How do you even keep track of how to be? It also probably makes you spend so much energy on trying to decipher what is most acceptable for you to be like with that person. And you constantly have to put on a different show. I would think it would be a lot easier to figure out the ways to be that work across all relationships, all scenarios, and all future versions of you. Keeping your integrity and who you want to be in mind and what you want to think about yourself in mind first and foremost when you look back. That is where duality, I think, fails as a strategy, because you never, ever feel right with yourself. When there's these multiple halves of you, there's always dissonance. There's always distance. Here's what I also think, really. Coming from a bout of anger, reflecting on it, probably justifying it to some degree, while finding something that stands through it despite any incentive. And that is alignment. See, sometimes alignment, the merging of your duality, might feel like turbulence. It might be forceful, ugly, probably wrong in some ways. But the one thing that's right, regardless of what's wrong, is if all of that energy brings you into alignment, so you can stop pretending, say what you feel, and not upkeep appearances to appease. Sometimes alignment looks like a battle with casualties, but the war is worth the reward. And a lot of times it can be easy. Sometimes alignment doesn't mean you have to do something new. It could just be you having to drop the shrouds that you are so adept to cling onto, you're so comfortable knowing yourself as. And sometimes alignment is just dropping the curtain, dropping the shrouds, and just being what you know of yourself and merging that duality. It doesn't have to be turbulent, but sometimes it is. See, I find duality so distasteful that there are subconscious parts of me that drive for alignment at any cost. I do not know how to be one way with someone and not feel that same way about them when they're not around. That misalignment weighs heavy on me and calls for me to reconcile it. I cannot go very long before I find myself automatically heading towards whatever it takes to align my actions and my feelings towards something or someone through force or finesse. Either way, it must happen, because politics is not a game that I indulge in. And I think political reasons, the hidden incentives, the what's in it for me, might lead someone to play both sides so they can placate a person while still getting their own benefit out of them. Many people justify their duality in many ways. Power differences at work, diplomacy for the sake of being productive, cultural reasons, familiar relationships. There are so many reasons why people justify why it's okay to be one way with someone, because you're bound by some degree to them, and that you are willing to be a willing participant in the game of placating them while they are around, and maintain a whole set of separate feelings about them in some recesses of your mind that you maybe complain to a few people about. All those justifications for why you maintain your duality still result in being out of integrity with yourself. Your actions and your feelings do not match. You are valuing something above your integrity. And whatever that incentive is, it's not worth your integrity. And that could be a lot of things that you well may justify to feed your family and keep peace. But none of it exempts you from the respect you lose for yourself for playing the game, for being multiple versions of you being split in half. As you bend the nature of reality through the acting and pretending that you've learned to do, you also carve yourself as the kind of character who cannot be taken at their word, because you have practiced maintaining a hidden world inside of you for so long that you cannot ever really be trusted. That practice that you've put into maintaining this hidden world, instead of being somebody that practiced living it, despite the issues that it takes to come into alignment, that practice that you've spent maintaining that hidden world makes you less likely to be trusted by anyone else or for you to trust yourself. Because your practice of betraying yourself the entire time while you think you're playing the game and winning something, while you ultimately lose. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. And in this one, it's loss of self-respect. And no wonder you don't respect anyone else enough to keep it real with them. See, now I get personality differences. If you are a high S on the DISC scale, and you just want to get along with people and not be confrontational and think it's better to just minimize and not have things bother you because you lean more in your personality towards feeling at peace yourself. Your personality feels more at peace when you keep the peace, when you get along. So if you lean that way, I can understand the differences of being confrontational or not confrontational and the abrupt ways that it may take to get alignment. But again, remember, you can do this easy ways as well. But unless you are free from resentments, somewhere in there you have to bring into alignment what it is that the confrontation is calling for. Because unless you are free from resentments, you are lying to yourself and pretending. And I'm not for any keep the peace movement based off of false pretenses. There's no peace in a lie, only in the truth, no matter how abrupt and uncomfortable. Because listen, I'm not saying I'm always proud of the means by which I achieve alignment. Sometimes I destroy. Sometimes I burn bridges. But the only compensating factor, after I find myself regrouping in the rubble of my making, the only compensating factor, and one that provides me with enough solace to rationalize the rubble, whether that's right or wrong, is knowing that at the least, I have removed the gap between what I thought and how I'm acting. Even if that is done violently, to me, that is a step in the right direction. To me, it's a reduction in the dissonance and noise. Life is too short to maintain that gap, to not live out exactly how you feel, no matter how uncomfortable and disruptive that it is. And with some people who practice deception, politics, acting, side remarks, because they know no better than that in life, I cannot maintain a relationship. Or at the least, I cannot partake in their duality with them. I cannot be a participant to it. I had a friend in the gym make a remark about another one of my friends in the gym, quietly as a joke, but negative and revealing of true feelings, like all jokes are, nonetheless. To which I immediately replied with a straight face, "Do not think I will be party to this type of comment again. If it's a joke, then have the guts to say it in front of and to the person it's about. If not, if you cannot say it in front of them, then there's a part of you that knows it's wrong and that it wouldn't be appreciated by that person. So do not think that you can say it to me either. I will not be party to your duality. And you may not like me for that, but what kind of friend do you want? One that defends you behind your back? One that won't stand for anything bad to be said about you? Or one who exhibits that he has multiple faces to him and that it's not off limits to talk about people for him? One is not only a higher quality friend, but is also a higher quality person. That is what ethics are. And you show your values every time you open your mouth. If you have dual thoughts about someone, It's best you reconcile it, or it will creep through somehow in a joke or a complaint, and it will say more about you and your character than it does about the other person. I don't know. I'll leave anything artificial for the machines. I'll keep everything about me real. You decide for yourself. Love you, family. See you on the next show. Stay true. Always, always.